I wanted to have another go at weaving with Willow. I still didn't know if there's a proper way to do it. I just guessed what to do. I like the way that Willow finds its own shape. It's always a surprise. My previous efforts had produced a motley gang of life-size reindeer, all individual. I wasn't thinking of making another reindeer. But what is it? It's got 4 legs, so it's not an ostrich. Maybe it's a giraffe. No, it's small and dainty. Guess what? I think it's a young female reindeer. Prancer was watching and said unhelpfully, "Looks like a useless girl. She won't be big enough to help pull Santa's sled." She was finished. I thought she was cute, and she had a funny mark on her forehead, which only showed in the dark. So I called her Star. The other deer all said, "She's too small and feeble." So we decided that Rudy would take her to the northern herds to grow up. Time went by, and we began worrying about Christmas. Prancer was still unable to fly, so we really needed another reindeer. "I've an idea," mulled Rudy. "I'll go and see Star. Maybe she's grown bigger." Rudy flew north the next day, and hearing the traditional neck singing of a herdsman, went down to the camp. He found Star looking healthy, well cared for, but still not big enough. "I'm ready to be in the team," she pleaded, "and I've already taught myself to fly." "Sorry, but no," said Rudy firmly, and he left to fly home. "I won't be left behind," Star cried and took off following him. She flew low, so Rudy wouldn't see her. She was sorry to leave, but she felt her destiny was ahead. Meanwhile, at my house, Santa arrived, saying, "Well, you can't keep secrets from me. I'm Santa, so I know what you're wishing for." And he sat down to eat a hearty breakfast. With a thud, Rudy landed on the deck. And with another thud, Star landed. Rudy stared at her crossly, and she pleaded, "Please let me stay. I won't be any trouble." Rudy ignored her. "Oh, hello, Santa. We're in a pickle. Prancer's forgotten how to fly, and Star isn't big enough. So we need to find a new strong deer in a hurry." "I've got it," squeaked Comet. "What about that refuge for lost deer that we found last year? Wasn't there a biggish stag?" We decided we'd all go and see. The Willowdeer headed cross-country to reach the old manor, through woods, over streams, to the big river and narrow log bridge. "Don't look down, it's scary," shouted Rudy as they ran across, slipping and stumbling. "Not far now," he added, and soon they arrived at the old manor refuge. Santa and I went to the manor the easy way, by car. Charles and the orphan deer welcomed us all. But they were very worried as one of them had gone missing. It was Blitzen, the stag we'd come to see. Next morning, while Charles and Santa puzzled over Blitzen's disappearance, the other deer played in the forecourt of the manor. A woman paused at the gate and spied Rudy. "Hello, handsome. Would you like some strawberries?" she called out. "They're sweet and juicy." "You're a well-grown chap," she crooned, and Rudy preened. That afternoon she appeared again and gave him more strawberries just for him, and said she'd bring him some apples. Behind Rudy, the lions were growling in agitation, but Rudy thought it was because the lady wasn't feeding them. She came early the next morning while the deer were in the back garden, but Rudy was out front looking for her. "Hello, handsome. I got the apples ready, but silly me, I left them on the hall table. Let's go and get them. I'm Mrs. Malice, Alice Malice." She took hold of his antler as they stepped into the road, saying, "You'll be safer beside me." Rudy didn't know what to think. Something felt wrong, but the woman gripped him strongly and talked about lots of juicy apples. What they didn't know was that Star had seen them. She sneaked out and followed them. Mrs. Malice lived in a big house. Rudy was impressed. Maybe he had nothing to fear. "Come on, the apples are inside." She opened the door. "This is the great hall," she gloated. "It'll have 2 sets of fine antlers on the walls, even better than at the manor. Mine will also have the heads." Her eyes gleamed with anticipation. Rudy felt shaken. He tried not to tremble. Where's the apples?" "This way," she hissed, and pushed him through a door into a dark cellar. He heard a key locking the door, and then she walked away, jangling keys, cackling. "You'll never escape. No one will solve the riddle of how to open the door. The riddle says it won't open without finding the key to the key. What is the key to the key? It's right here. Guess what it is." Rudy was furious with himself and with Mrs. Malice. He kicked at the door. Why was I so silly? Stupid, stupid, stupid. A new voice shouted, "Hey, you'll hurt yourself." In the dim light stood a young stag. Rudy was startled. "I remember you. You're Blitzen from the old manor." Blitzen came over. "And you're a new prisoner. I'm not the only one in this dungeon now." Star crept out of hiding. "Rudy, are you in there?" "Yes, I'm here with Blitzen," came Rudy's muffled reply. "Please get help." Star ran quickly back to the old manor, arriving just as we were about to start supper. "There's a wicked woman called Alice Malice," she gasped. "She's locked Rudy and Blitzen in a cellar and hidden the key. I think she was shouting a riddle. There's a key to the key. The door won't open without it." "We need a rescue plan," said Santa. "How about I go secretly to her house? I'm good at creeping quietly around houses at night. Star could come with me to show me the way. Haven't any of you noticed her guiding starlight?" Later that evening, with the help of Star's beam of light, they arrived at Mrs. Malice's front door. Locked doors are no barrier to Santa. Sliding in, "Go straight, now left." Star faded her light for greater secrecy. They hurried into the next room, Santa whispering, "Let's look for the key. Not here, not here. Shh." "Let's try upstairs." "Look, I spy keys on top of the clock," Santa whispered in excitement. "But how can we get them?" Santa couldn't reach high enough. Star whispered, "Let me jump on your shoulders." She pushed up to grab the keys in her mouth. Santa staggered. Star's nose hit the keys. She lost her balance. The keys fell. Star fell. A figure appeared. "Mrs. Malice!" "Who's there? What's that noise?" Santa and Star grabbed the keys and ran. She chased after them. "Not that way, this way." "Stop! There's the cellar door. I knew I could find it." Santa tried all the keys, but none opened the door. "That riddle about a key to the key, I'm mighty puzzled," he muttered. "Rudy, are you there? Do you know about the key?" Rudy and Blitzen were listening at the door. "Key? Key?" Rudy felt befuddled. "Freaky! Sneaky! Pesky!" And Blitzen called out, "Look for a clue." Santa studied the keys, and Star turned her beam onto the door. Yes, the key! I've got it! That's it! Look! The symbol at the top of the door is the same as this key, but upside down, said Star in wonder. Yes, that's the key to the key. Hurry, Santa, put the key in upside down. It worked, and they pulled the door open. Rudy and Blitzen jumped out. Follow me, shouted Santa, just as Mrs. Malice burst into the room. Stop! Wait! She screeched, lunging to catch them. But she was too late. They were escaping. Blitzen barred her way. She couldn't get past him. Ah! She drummed her fists and feet with frustration and rage. Early next morning, Charles called at Mrs. Malice's house. He confronted her, very angry. You stole 2 stags. Why? What for? I'm sorry. I wanted my hall to look really grand. I wanted some antlers to put on the wall. Charles looked astonished. But didn't you know that stags shed their antlers and grow new ones every year? He pondered aloud. What should I do? Should I report her to the police or make her do community service? Or menial jobs at the manor? Mrs. Malice was so overcome with guilt, she agreed she'd do anything. We need help cleaning vegetables in cold water. Let's go. She sobbed as they walked. I just wanted some antlers. I've got centuries of old ones in my cellar, said Charles. And if you work hard, I'll give you 2 big pairs of old antlers next Christmas. Oh, how can I thank you? Mrs. Malice gushed. I'll make a fresh start. I'll clean all the vegetables. I could look after your little dear. But would she? Or would Malice win through? The training of Blitzen began, preparing him to fly. Santa put stardust on them all for luck. Prancer refused to join in, saying he wasn't ready. While Rudy and Comet raced with Blitzen, doing dummy take-off runs, Prancer stood quietly by me, not even trying to fly. I'm just getting ready in my mind. It's not that I'm scared of flying. For Blitzen, it was the chance of a lifetime. He longed to fly. The big day came. Even the stone lions from the porch came to watch. The deer ran faster and faster, not yet letting go of the earth. They needed help. The stone lions leapt forward, roaring at them. Lift off! They all popped free of the earth. Wow! Blitzen shouted as he veered away from the group, heading out on his own. This is wonderful! It's freedom! He suddenly realized that by flying, he'd be able to rejoin his herd in the north. He remembered the music of that wild land. His life as a lost deer would end when he went back where he belonged. How exciting! He'd go there straight after Christmas. It was Christmas Eve, but Rudy had caught a cold in the dungeon. His red nose had turned almost brown, and it would no longer light their way. We sat thinking what to do. Santa came up trumps again. He knew the answer. Star is your guiding light. It's time for her to have her proper name, Guiding Star. She will lead the way, and after Christmas, she'll guide Blitzen to rejoin his herd in the north. So, Guiding Star took her place in front. The sled was laden. It was time to deliver presents. Yo-ho-ho! Cried Santa as the sled catapulted forward. They hadn't practiced the teamwork of pulling a sled. The sled was being jerked about. Come on, you lot! Cried Rudy. Jump together now! They lurched into the sky. After their busy night delivering presents, they landed at the old manor for one last farewell to Blitzen. Santa and the empty sled would also leave, hitching a lift north with the 2 deer, while my gang with Prancer would walk home cross-country. Nothing could go wrong with that. Farewells all round. Goodbye, Old Manor. Good cheer to Santa. After taking Santa home, they continued north, Blitzen not yet flying smoothly like Star, but he didn't care. They cruised until they heard the song of the reindeer herdsman. Star turned to fly home to me. Blitzen was back where he belonged. For him, it was the best Christmas present ever.